Hey there, in this video we're going to be talking about whether or not you might have an unhealthy relationship with food. If you are consistently overeating, if you are consistently, eating when you're sad or when you're down or using it as a coping mechanism, then it might be time to reevaluate your relationship with food, all right? So again, in this video, we're going to be talking about 7 signs of an unhealthy relationship with food. So let's get right into it. So the number one sign that you might have an unhealthy relationship with food is if you punish yourself with food. If you often restrict yourself from eating certain foods because maybe you might feel bad about eating them, or because you're trying to make up for eating too much earlier, then this is a sign of an unhealthy relationship that you might have. So, punishing yourself with food only leads to feelings of guilt, feelings of shame, which can lead you to overeating even more in the future, right? Or more emotional eating in the future, right? Rather than eating when you're physically hungry, right? So number 2 is constantly thinking about food. So if your thoughts always are revolving around food more than anything else, then it's a sign that you are fixated on food. And this can be really detrimental to your mental health, your emotional health, your physical health, because you're unable to think about anything else, right? If you're always thinking about eating and food, then that is not beneficial to you and your health. Number 3 is eating when you're not hungry. So if you find yourself then you're eating when you're not physically hungry, then it's a sign that you are using food as a coping mechanism, right? And this can be really harmful in the long run because it can lead to weight gain. It could lead to other health problems that are totally preventable, right? So if you're eating when if you're emotionally eating rather than eating when you're physically hungry, that is a huge issue that you should be aware of. Number 4 is avoid going to social gatherings. So if you're avoiding certain social situations because you're afraid of the food that's there, or what you're going to eat, or if you can't control your feelings around the food, then that's a sign of an unhealthy relationship, right? Number 5 is feeling guilty after eating. So if you're constantly feeling this guilt or ashamed after eating, then it is a sign that maybe you're not comfortable with your body or with the food in general. And this can lead to really dangerous behaviors such as, binge eating or purging, that, it just does not benefit you and your health. Number 6 is if you're fixated on calories. So if you're constantly counting calories and worrying about the number of calories that you're eating, then that is not a good thing, right? This can lead to unhealthy behaviors like restrictive dieting and compulsive exercising, right? This is not a healthy way to lose weight, right? And number 7 is using food to cope. So if you're using food to cope with emotions, and it's a sign that you have an unhealthy relationship with food, right? This can lead to overeating, emotional eating, and it can be really harmful to your mental health, your emotional health, right? You should be using outlets that are healthy. If you have, if you're dealing with certain emotions, negative emotions, you should be having a healthy outlet like writing, journaling, exercising, going for a run, going for a walk, going for a bike ride, right? Or doing some type of hobby rather than sitting down and overeating or consuming too much food that your body doesn't necessarily need, all right? So do you have any tips for losing weight? I would love to know your thoughts in the comments. Let me know. I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.